Good morning, everybody. We are going to go over our math lesson together today. Okay, so yesterday we talked a little bit about our tens and our ones and what that looks like in a number. So we talked a little bit about place value, and we are going to continue that talk today and talk about how numbers can look different but be the same. So I want to lead you through an example really quick. So if I have, let's say I have student A, so I'm going to write this on my board. If I have student A and I have student B, and I give student A only 10 sticks. That's it. I only give them 10 sticks. And let's say I only give student B ones cubed. So I'm just going to put these on here in no particular order. This is kind of what it looks like. There we go. Make it a little easier for you to count. I want you to take a look at these numbers and count how many each side has. So if I'm just looking at my ones cubes, I want you to look at this and see what number do these represent? How many ones cubes do I have? So go ahead and pause the video, take a second to count our ones cubes. So I'll give you just a second to pause the video. Okay, so I'm going to count. I have 20 ones cubes. 20. So I'm going to write 20 down here. Now I want you to look at our student A side. How many 10 sticks do we have? What number does it represent? So I'll give you just a second. Go ahead and pause the video and think of the answer in your head. We have 1, 2. We have 2 10 sticks, and if we count up by 10, I'm going to go 10, 20. So I'm going to write that down here. I have 20 ones cubes represented, because remember, if I line up all of my ones cubes next to my 10 sticks, they are going to equal the same amount. So I have 20 represented by my 2 10 sticks, and I have 20 represented by my ones cubes. But they don't look the same, do they? So do we always have to have one number represented in exactly the same way? No, not quite. So now that we've checked that these two numbers equal each other, and one way that you can check is just do what I did. So if I know I have tens, then I can line up, because I know that our ones cube, 10 ones cubes fit in my 10 stick. So I can just measure along until I have none left, and here it will equal 20. Now, I want you to think, is there a way that student A and student B could share their 10 sticks and their ones cubes and still come up with the number 20? So I want you to pause the video and think for a minute. How could they share all of these and still each have 20? So go ahead and pause the video and think about your answer. So one way that we could do this is, well, let's start with our tens, okay? So if I know that I'm sharing, and I have 2, and I have 2 students, I'm just going to put 1 on either side. So I know that right now they each have 10. So if I have 20 ones cubes, how do you think we could split it up to create an equal amount on each side? So one way that I might do it is I might start by just putting 1 on each side. And then I'm going to go back and forth until I have none left. So right now I'm at 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. So would you look at that? So we have, they don't necessarily look even right now. How about if I do it like this? So as you can see, for student A and student B, we now have, so I'm going to write it to the side, we have 1 10s, 1 10, just like that, and we have 10 ones. 10 ones. And if we expand those numbers like we worked on yesterday, we know that 110 becomes 10 ones. So I'm going to add my 10 down here, which equals 20. And I'm going to add my 10 over here, which now equals 20. So they are still even, and we were able to create our number 20 in 3 different ways. We use just 10 sticks, we used just ones cubes, and we used a combination. So numbers can look a lot of different ways, and we're going to continue looking at that throughout our lesson. Okay, I have another example for you. So right now I have 1 10 stick and I have 7 ones cubes. So take a second, count, and see what number I have right here on my board. So I'll give you just a second to think about it. You can always pause the video. So our number, we know that we have, and I'm going to write it down here. So we have 1 10 and we have 7 ones. Okay, so we need to figure out what do these represent? So we know, you might think, oh, well, I know this is 10 and I know this is 7, so I might count 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So our number here is 17. Now I want you to think, is there any other way that we could show 17? So like we saw in our last example, we could use just tens, just ones cubes, or a combination. So we're using a combination right now. But is there another way that we could show the number 17? Go ahead and pause the video and think about it while I clear off my board. So I know that I cannot show it by just using 10 sticks, right? Because if I have 10, just 10, so we know 1 10 stick equals 10. So if I put a second 10 stick on, can that equal 17? Can I just ignore 3 of these? No, I sure can't, right? Because if I had a second 10 stick, I'm going to write 1 10, which equals 10. Our answer would be 20. We can't make that equal 17. So I'm going to take these off of our board, and we've already done our combination of 10 sticks and ones cubes. So what about just ones cubes? Do you think we can do that? Let's try it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. What do you think? Does it work? It does work because we know that each one just represents 1. So we can add or take away as many as we like, and it will help us come to our answer. Now I also want you to think about it this way. Could I switch this up? How could I switch this up to put one of my 10 sticks in? Because we know that we can combine 10 sticks and ones cubes to equal 17. So how could we do that? One way, well actually the only way to do that is to take away 10. So I'm going to count 10, right? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I know that my 10, right here, this is 10 cubes. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my 10 stick, I'm going to go whoop, and I'm going to sweep them off of my board just like that. And then I'm going to put my 10 stick back on my board. And look at that. Now we have a good combination. So we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So now we were able to switch it out. So anytime that you have a large amount of ones, you can always count 10, take your 10 stick, sweep them off, and put your 10 stick down. And that's how you can replace. So I am now going to show you what your assignment will look like. So your assignment on Seesaw will look like this. So I am going to give you two numbers. There's a front and a back. On yours, it will just be two different pages. And in your instructions, I'm going to give you your number. So whatever number you are given, you are going to write it in standard form right here. So that's just writing your plain number. You'll write it in word form right here. Put it in tens and ones here. Your expanded form here. And then you're going to draw two different pictures. So you want to show your number in two different ways. So that could be just tens and ones, or just ones. So I want you to show your picture in two different ways.